Charlene, who is a staunch supporter of Baba, Raila Amolo Odinga, is asking the following. From this trip, tour, whatever you want to call it, of President Ruto to Nyanza, or simply the Nyanza visit, does it mean that kuna secret handshake between Ruto and Baba? Loading? Is this what it means? Kumekucha, tell us. What is your opinion? What have you heard? What information do you have? Now, this is the question every Kenyan is asking. And most Kenyans wanauliza hii swali na makasiriko. Ati Raila wants to shake hands with Ruto. Aye. Esh. Aye. 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 Wah? Hapana. Others are putting it very bluntly. Raila is a sellout. How can he accept to be used like this? Tunaenda elections, anaibiwa, alafu anapembelezwa kwa handshake. No. This is not acceptable. And so on and so forth. Kenyans are getting very emotional, especially Raila Odinga supporters, over this move that would, I don't believe I'm saying this, over this move that would unite the country together. Tuwe kitu moja. But let us look at a few factors, vitu kwa ground, and analyze this a little more deeply. The truth, the naked truth, ukweli ambao umetolewa surali, is that all signs are pointing us to that place called a handshake between President William Samoei Ruto and patriot, legend, Kenyan freedom fighter, Raila Amolo Odinga. All analysts are talking about it. It was the headline of a local newspaper over the weekend. Wanaita soft handshake. And all these analysts, all these people are not saying this with no reason. They're not inventing it. They're not picking it up from the air. Let us take the words of James Orengo, for instance, governor of Siaya, when he spoke at President Ruto's meeting. At one point, Orengo asked the president to talk to Raila, to get Raila to a negotiation table. Waongee. Now hold on a minute. Is this Orengo speaking? Huyu ni Orengo alisema hii, ama ni fake news? Ama ni video ambayo imekuwa photoshopped? But there's nothing like that. You can't photoshop a video. You can doctor it, but you're limited. The truth is, James Agri Orengo spoke those words. What do they tell you? Baba himself gave the go-ahead for ODM luminaries, officials, elected members of Azimio to attend the president's meeting. That is a fact. Oburu Odinga, the brother to Raila and senator of Siaya, was at the meeting. He welcomed the president. So, is it obvious that a soft handshake is loading? I know inauma watu wa Azimio, tena inauma sana. But please put your emotions aside and let's get to the bottom of this. So, is that what it's telling us? If you asked me that as a straight question, I'll tell you hold on. Don't be too quick to jump at conclusions. Don't be too quick to assume that that is where we're going. And let me give you my reasons. Reason number one, for anybody who has been following the career of Raila Amolo Odinga for a lengthy period of time, you will know for sure that Raila will not go where it seems he's going. Never ever. That is not how he plays his politics. Let me remind you what happened in 2017, March. Shortly before the handshake, Raila did not give any indication. In fact, the indications he gave was that ODM and NASA, the opposition coalition then, were going to Kangumu, fight this thing to the end. That's the indication he gave. And then suddenly, Kenyans look into their TV screen, handshake? What? Is that really Raila? Etc., etc. It caught everybody by surprise. That's how Baba operates. But now when everybody is seeing a handshake, soft handshake or whatever you want to call it, everybody is at a certain place. They're all waiting for Raila to come there. This handshake manenos. Do you think Raila will show up? You know, even after the August elections, last August, 2022, after the presidential elections, people were waiting for Raila somewhere. They were waiting for Raila in the streets, demonstrations, resistance, etc., etc. And they waited, and they waited, and they waited. Raila never showed up. Remember that? Reason number two, why I'm saying hold your horses, is that some of the things going on chini ya maji within Azimio sharply contradict a handshake of any kind, cooperation of any kind. Let me give you a few examples. There is increasing talk about the real election results. Most recently, there's talks of invented, fictional Form 34As, that were created to create a certain result in our last elections. It seems that some people have documentary evidence. They have this information. And they have recently come out. Some of them are even calling themselves whistleblowers. And my problem, or what is making me sit up and pay attention, is the timing. Why now? Because I have some other information that some of these things people are talking about were already in the hands of some people weeks ago, even 2 months ago. Why are they talking about them now? That's a question you need to ask yourself. Does that sound like people busy preparing themselves for some kind of handshake? You tell me. Reason number three. We have seen some people have come out publicly to say that now they're supporting President William Samoei Ruto. Others have come out and shown us in public that they seem to have a soft spot for the current regime. We've all seen that, and as Mio supporters especially, wameumwa sana. But then these same people have been seen a little later away from public limelight, laughing with Raila. Very confusing. What does all this mean? And what I'm talking about has even come out in public functions. We had the Mombasa governor recently seen in public talking to President William Samoei Ruto, discussing how the government can assist the county of Mombasa, County 001. We all saw that, and many people panicked. And then Raila visited Mombasa shortly after that, and he received his usual very warm welcome. And anybody was expecting a statement from Raila about how they were going to deal with people within the party who had sold out. Anybody was expecting such a statement. Alingoja sana. There was nothing like that. Wa? Hii inachanganya ama haichanganyi? This is strange. That is my reason number 2, where I've told you, hold your horses. Don't count your chickens before they hatch. Ngoja tu. Ngoja mpaka they hatch for sure. Then we'll say, yes, this is what it was. But of course there's a possibility that that egg you're expecting to hatch, you are sure is going to hatch, may fail to hatch. Yeah, those who have done chicken farming will understand exactly what I'm talking about. Reason number 3. You know, when Raila Odinga sat down to negotiate with President Uhuru Kenyatta in 2017, Raila held a lot of very important cards that the president needed on his side to govern. Okay? And you know, the way Raila negotiates is funny. Actually, according to me, it shows the love the man has for his country. It shows that the man is not hungry for power. He is not selfish. Indeed, I dare say, it seems to paint Raila Odinga as a poor politician. You know, the politicians we know the world over are ruthless, greedy, selfish. They only think of themselves, not the people they represent. Yeah, that kind of politician. Clearly, Raila is not that kind of politician. He thinks of Kenyans first. Yeah. And therefore, although he had these cards, he considered a lot, and the handshake happened. Indeed, he considered much more than the other side of President Uhuru Kenyatta. And we all greatly benefited from that handshake. Now, fast forward to 2023. The cards Raila holds in his hands this time. Wacha hizo za 2017. The ones he's holding in his hands right now are excessive. Too much. Nyingi sana. And remember, in 2017, Raila Odinga was much younger. He was 5 years younger. Now in 2023, you can get my drift. Chances of Raila Odinga conceding too much are minimal in any negotiations with President William Samoei Ruto. Now, in case you didn't know, or in case you're ignoring what is very clear and obvious, the Ruto administration is in trouble. It is very shaky. I just settle, very, very shaky. Let me elaborate. You end up being president of Kenya, but your support countrywide is very, very minimal. And the policy moves you're making, the decisions you're announcing every day, are not endearing you to the public. They're not gaining you more supporters, which you desperately need. No. Instead, they're doing the opposite. They're angering people. They're putting Kenyans under more stress. What do you expect? Hey, what do you expect? So that is the situation of the Ruto government as they sit down on a negotiation table. And that is my third reason why, when you ask me about a possible handshake, I say, goja. wait. Don't count your chickens before they hatch. Until next time, this is Chris. Kumekucha.